Good day to you. This is Professor Dr. Stabramani, Professor in Mechanical Engineering at Madanapalli Institute of Technology and Science, Madanapalli State of Andhra Pradesh. I am supported by Dr. Muralidhar Singh, a senior assistant professor in the same department where I am working. I am also thankful to the management for giving permission to record this video in one of the classrooms available in the campus. Today we are going to discuss the process or the topic called the scheduling. The scheduling is very important in production planning and control, especially in a manufacturing setup. What is the scheduling? General terms, scheduling is nothing but starting point and ending point. Suppose you go to bus terminus, there is an announcement, there is a bus from one place to another. It starts by 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. whatever be the time. That is scheduling. Go to the airport or railway station. They say the train or flight is scheduled at this time. This is scheduling process. The scheduling process is most important in any organizations, which will help to utilize the resources, utilize the equipment, facilities. Okay? So let us get into the scheduling process. In the scheduling process, we have two types of scheduling process. One is forward scheduling, another one is backward scheduling. What is forward scheduling? Start from today, start progressing till the job or project or the job is completed. This is forward scheduling. Backward scheduling, fix a delivery date, fix a date for which the process to be completed, then reverse back, come back and say, if we start this particular day, we can be able to finish it. This is backward scheduling. Most of the Japanese companies, they work on backward scheduling. They fix a date for the project to be completed, work back for each element of the process to be done, and then they try to do the process. Whereas Indian, we always have a tendency to do the forward scheduling process. Fine. In the scheduling process, there are priorities. What are the priorities? If you go again bus terminus, first come, first serve. The bus is empty, the last come, first serve will be done. Whereas in the scheduling process, there are many techniques to be followed. One is first come, first serve, shortest processing time, longest processing time, and earliest delivery date. These are some of the techniques used in the scheduling process. These sometimes we call as a priority or priority rules. When you fix a priority rules, which method or which technique that you are going to use, then it should not be changed at any cost at any point of time. Somebody comes and give you instruction, you change the rules, no way. Okay? So once you fix that which technique you are going to follow, that technique must be followed throughout the process of completion. This we call as a priorities. Priority rule, simple heuristic used to select the order in which jobs will be processed. Job time, the time needed for setup and processing of a job. Suppose we are changing the system, or changing the job from one machine to another machine. You need to change the tooling and you have to take a trial. Okay, that time also to be taken into consideration while going for job time. Priority sequencing. When jobs complete for work centers, which job to be taken first? Priority rules are applied to all jobs waiting in the queue. Priority sequencing is systematic procedure for assigning priorities to waiting jobs, thereby determining the sequence in which jobs will be performed. Once you fix the priorities at any cost, the priority should not be changed. What will happen if the priority is 10? The whole system comes to upsurd. Bias will be there. So this is the most important for using the priority rules. In the priority rules, we have first come first serve, FCFS. Second one, SPT, shortest processing time. Third one, longest processing time. Fourth one, EDD, earliest delivery date. Then these are the priority rules available. Then the management or the person who is going to do the process must decide what techniques to be followed. Is he going to follow FCFS? Is he going to follow SPT, EDD or LPT? Okay. As I told you before, once the technique is fixed, should not change at any cost, whatever the direction given by the other people. So it will help you to find out what is the process in which you can be able to finish the job within the minimum time, within this span of time. For that we have to use what we call the critical ratio and then slack per operation. Okay, these are the two terminology which will help to find out which is the best method to be adopted. Right? Don't simply go by the SPT, because anytime shortest processing time will try to give you the best efficiency and the better utilization. It's not the case in all the time. Now I have a job here. We have a job here. We are going to follow. Problem is given. Job A, B, C, D, E, F. There are 5 jobs available. The processing time of each job A is 2 units of time. I am not going to call the hours or minutes or days. Okay? We call it the unit of time. Job A requires 2 units of time. Job B requires 8 units of time. Job C requires 4 units of time. Job D requires 10 units of time. Job E requires 5 units of time. And job F requires 12 units of time. What are the due dates, and each job must be made ready. Job A must be ready within 7 days of process. Job B must be completed 16th day. Job C must be completed 4th day. Job D 17th day. Job E 15th day. And F must be completed within 18th. That means these are the due dates on which the job must be available for subsequent process. Now, we have to decide what process we are going to use. Are you going to use FCFS, first come first serve, or shortest processing time, or earliest delivery date, or longest processing time? Once you fix that, then you should not change your rules. Now, for this problem, let us see all the techniques and finally come to a conclusion that which method is the best method to be used. Okay, the technique and rule we are going to follow is first come, first serve basis. That means this is the order on which the job arrives. These are the processing time and due dates are given. Okay, so A will be taken first. What will be the due date? What will be the processing time? B will be second after the A, C after B, D after C, and E after D. This is as per first come, first serve basis. Probably this can also be changed as per shortest processing time and longest processing time and earliest delivery dates. Fine. Now we are going to follow FCFS priority rules. This is job sequence. As the jobs arrive, we are going to process it. And this is job sequence which is coming for the processing. This is a processing time, unit of time, flow time is given here. Suppose this A job, unit of time is 2, so flow time is going to be 2. Once job A is finished, then you have to start the job B. So becomes 2 plus 8 unit of time will become 10 unit of time. Once job B is finished, then job C should be taken. So 10 plus 4 is a 14th flow of time. Once job C is finished, the next job is D. 14 plus 10 flow time is 24 unit of time. Job 24. Once job D is finished, we will go to job 5. The flow time is 24 plus 5, 29. Now job E can be finished, F can be finished once the job E is finished. So 29 plus 12, 41 unit of time. This is the flow time of as per the FCFS. The flow time may be same, for all the process may not be same. That's a different issue. Okay, now due date. Job A should be finished within 7 due date, but we are well within 7 days. It will be finished only within 2 days. The tardiness or the late is 0. Same thing, take job B. We need it in 16th unit of time. Job should be complete in 16th unit of time, but we could be able to finish in 10 unit of time. So the job tardiness or late is 0. Job C. We need should be done 4 unit of time well before that, but this can be taken only after 14th unit of time. So late is 10 unit of time. Job D, we need it only 24th unit of time. Sorry, we need 17th unit of time, but this job can be taken after 24, gets completed on 24th unit of time. So definitely is going to be late by 7 unit of time. Same E, the due date is 15th unit of time, but we are going to finish only after 29, so delay is 14. And so also job F, we need 18 unit of time, but the job can be finished only after 41st unit of time, so delay is 23 unit of time. Okay. Now we have to go through which one is the best method. We go through the flow time and other technical issues on that, and then we will come to conclusion at the last following all the techniques. Okay, I have already done the FCFS method. The total processing time is 41 unit of time. The total flow time is 120, and then total tardiness is 54. This will try to help us find out which method is the best method to be adopted. So we have calculated all the requirement based on the FCFS. We already know that the total flow time is 120. So average flow time is equivalent to total flow time divided by number of jobs. So we already calculated the total flow time is 120, number of job is 6, so 20 unit of time is the average flow time for any job. Average tardiness we already calculated is equal to 54 unit of time, number of jobs available is 6, so 9 unit of time is the average tardiness or late in the system. The average number of jobs available at any point of time, total flow time divided by total processing time, 120 divided by 41, it is 2.93. At any given point of time throughout A to F, 2.93 job is available. And then make span of this is equal to total processing time, that is going to be make span. So we are going to follow, or we are going to move towards the shortest processing time, and EDD and LPD, the similar method will be used. We will try to move little faster. Okay, next priority rule that we are going to discuss is shortest processing time, simply called as SPT. You see the sequence, job sequence, processing time, flow time, due date and tardiness flow or the lateness. You see here now this is the priority changes. We are going to do as per the minimum processing time. First the minimum processing time taken, next highest, next higher, things like that. Then the flow of ABCD will change, not like FCFS. You see A processing time is 2. Now C processing time is 4. E processing time is 5. B processing time is 8. D processing time is 10 and F processing time is 12. Previously in the FCFS we got it in the ABCD order, but in the SPT the order get changed. A, C, E, B, D and F. Accordingly, this is a processing time that reminds us that based on the sequence, the way in which its arrangement has been made, that's different. However, the total processing time remains same as 41 unit of time, whatever be the method that we are going to follow. Now, flow time 2, 2 plus 4, 6, 6 plus 5, 11, 11 plus 8, 19, 19 plus 10, 29, 29 plus 12, 40. You say the due date, A job should be completed in 7 units of time, C job should be completed 4 units of time, E should be completed 15 units of time, B 16, D 17 and F 18. So the average target, the first is 0, subsequent B is getting delayed by 2 units of time. Job C, there is no change, there is no lateness, and job D, 3 units of time is delay, and job E is 12 units of time is the delay, and 18 is 23 units of time. Sum of this, again total processing time is 41, sum of this total flow time is 108, due date is 40, and this is going to be the total tardiness. Fine. Now, average flow time 108 divided by 6, 80 days average processing time for all the jobs. Average tardiness is 40 divided by number of jobs in the system is 6.67 days. Average number of jobs at human work center 108 divided by this total processing time 41 is going to be 2.63, and however the max span remains the same as 41 days. So this is how you have to arrive at this. And EDD I am going a little faster, and SPT, LPT also a little faster. However, we will come to final conclusion. Okay. Now we go to the other unit. So next technique that we are going to discuss is AD due date or alias due date, in simple called as a EDD. Again, job sequence, processing time, flow time, due date and tardiness. Okay, fine. Now again, we see the sequence like this. As per the earliest delivery date, then the order at which job to be taken up is different. It was not like a previous SPT or FCFS. C, you see this one, accordingly this will change. C require processing time 4, flow time is 4, due date is 4 and tardiness is 0. 4 plus 2, A job, 4 plus 2, 6, delay is, we require 7 units of time, but we will be able to finish in 6 units of time, but the delay is 2. Fine. Job D, we need 5 units of time. What is going to be here? 11. 1 minute. Now, job B, processing time is 8. 11 plus 8, 19. We need in 16 units of time, but takes 19 units of time. Delay is 3. Job crossing time is 10, 19 plus 10, 29 flow time. We needed 17 unit of time, but it got delayed up to 29 unit of time. Delay is 12. And job we have, the crossing time is 12, 29 plus 12 is 41. So we needed 18 unit of time, but it goes up to 41 unit of time. The delay is 23. Fine. Sum up, however, the flow time remains same as 41. The sum of this flow time is, total flow time is 110. The total tardiness is 38. Average flow time 110 by 6, 18.33 unit of time or days. Average tardiness 38 divided by 6, 6.33 days. Average number of jobs at any given point of time 110 divided by 41 is going to be 2.68 unit of time. However, the total max span is always going to be 41 unit of time or days. Now we will go to the next longest processing time. So the last process is longest processing time, SPT. Okay, now look at the processing time. The first sequence is, that is as per the longest process time required. First job to be taken is F, second job is D, third job is B, fourth is E, and fifth is C, and finally A, based on the longest processing time. Then the sequence gets changed. However, the total processing time remains same. A 12 unit of time, D 10, B 8, E 5, C 4, and A 2. So if you look at this, the total processing time 12 plus 10, 22, 22 plus 8, 30, 30 plus 5, 35, 35 plus 4, 39, 39 plus 2, 41. You see the due dates? We need 18 unit of time, but job F completed 12 unit of time, the tardiness is 0. The job requires, D requires 17 unit of time, but takes 22 unit of time. There is going to delay 5 unit of time. Job B requires 16 unit of time, but goes up to 30. The delay is 14. Job E, we need 15 unit of time, but it goes up to 35. The delay is 20. And then job C, we need 4, but it is extended up to 39 unit of time. Delay is 35. And job 4, we need 7 unit of time. It's gone up to 41 unit of time. Delay is 34. If you sum up this, however, the total processing time remains the same, or flow time remains the same. Then, if you sum up this, flow time is going to be 179, and the total tardiness is 108 unit of time. Now, the average flow time as per LPT, 179 divided by 6, 29.8. Average tardiness 108 divided by 6, 18. Average number of jobs in the system, total flow time divided by total processing time, 179 by 41, 4.36. And however, the main span remains 41 unit of time. Now you have to compare all the process and find out which one is the best suited method. Okay, the next requirement is finding the critical ratio. The job sequence is the same, A, B, C, D, E. The processing time is also same as per the sequence first A, B, C, D. Now the due date is given. The critical ratio is nothing but difference between the processing time and the delay, due date divided by the processing time. So delay is, due date is 7, 7 minus 8.5, 16 minus 0 because why is 0 because there is no delay here. So 16 minus 0, 8, 2, 4. 4 minus 4, 1, sorry, 4 minus 0 divided by 4 is 1. 70 minus 0, 70 divided by 10, 1.7. 15 divided by 5, 3. And then 18 divided by 12, 1.5. These are the critical ratios for the SPT, FCFS, things like that. Fine, thank you. So we will go to the final conclusion, which is the best method to be adopted. Those who are interested, they can also go through the critical ratio and come to a final conclusion. We have seen so far all the calculations for the FCFS, SPT, EDD and LPT. Now we are come to conclusion. We are going to conclude based on the utilization, which is best method. The FCFS utilization can be calculated from the total processing time divided by total flow time for each rules. FCFS, SPT, EDD and LPT. So percentage of utilization, total processing time divided by total flow time. FCF is concerned 41 divided by 120, 34%. SPT 41 divided by 105, almost 38%. EDD 41 divided by 110, 37%. And LPT 41 divided by 129, 22.9 or 23%. This is the utilization arrived based on the rules. Now we will come to final summary. Summary of results. All the rules is given. FCFS, SPT, EDD, LPT is given. Average flow time is given. Utilization is given. Average number of jobs is given. Average lateness is given. If somebody wanted a better utilization based on the percentage of utilization, probably you can make use of SPT process. If somebody wants less number of lateness, probably people can use EDD method. Or somebody wants number of job, average number of jobs should be very less, SPT may be the best method. But the situation is that which one you wanted to, which method you wanted to, higher the utilization, then SPT may be the best method as per this particular what they call the data is given. Okay, so we have come to a conclusion based on which is the best method to be followed. However, the best method to be followed depends upon the situations. Okay, so thank you for watching. Probably we will get back to you with another video on some other title. Thank you very much.